Hey now. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Hood. I am Tanya E. Hood, a wife, a mother, and an entrepreneur. As an entrepreneur, it simply means I've worn a lot of different hats in my life that have helped me develop a full range of strategies and actionable steps that I've used to help my clients make a strategic impact, both personally and professionally, to have better than what life has been giving them. Red Alert Diaries is based on the life lessons from my premier book, Red Alert, Is He the One? The Pocket Guide to Finding the Love of Your Life. And if you read my book, you already know that I got married at 21, and after 11 years of marriage, I found myself going through a divorce, having to raise my two sons alone. To reset my life and survive my divorce, I took the time I needed to get to know me better, which opened me up to new love again. So now I'm in a new marriage with the love of my life and my best friend, which just proves there is life after divorce. On this podcast, we have real talk about marriage and divorce, money and legacy. I want you to join me on the journey. Call 240-532-2227. That's 240-532-2227. I want you to leave your comments, questions, and thoughts so together we can grow. So today, I want to have a conversation with you about a strength that we don't often think about. Sometimes there is strength in just letting go. When I got divorced, I never intended to get divorced. No one ever really enters into a marriage thinking that it's going to end. When we have our vision of marriage, wherever you got your insight for marriage, be it in a magazine, TV show, a book, you came up with the perfect vision of what that relationship would look like. And then you try to find individuals that you could mold into what that was. That's not often how we're supposed to do this. What you should do, and granted, I didn't do it either, but what you should do is know who you are at the core of your being. Because if you are clear about who you are in the beginning of your relationship, it will help you be in a space and a place where you're no longer letting people, places, or things take control of you. You will be clear about who you are. You will be clear about what you bring to the table. You will be clear about what that relationship is truly going to be like. Because for some individuals, like myself, when I first got married, I got married at 21, not really clear about who I was at the core of my being. And as a result, my marriage was going through a different cycle as I was going through different adjustments. And so along the way, some of the things that I was trying to grow into started having a conflict because I wasn't clear about what I truly needed. And I definitely didn't pay enough attention to what he truly needed. See, if you are clear at the beginning of your relationship about your core strengths, you won't walk into a space or a place where you have so much conflict. Now, let me pause here because there's often a thought about conflict that is not usually accurate. Sometimes people take differences of opinion and call that conflict. A difference of opinion is like me possibly being the person that wants to roll the toothpaste from the bottom and someone else wanting to squeeze it from the middle. If you're in a space where that happens, sometimes that difference of opinion will cause you some issues, but it's not really conflict. Conflict is where your core values are being tapped on. A core value is like integrity. If you are an individual that says, I'm going to see you on Thursday at 9 to do X, Y, and Z, and you follow through on that, that is an expectation that has now been laid. But if someone makes that same statement for you and they don't follow through, now that expectation taps into a core value and you enter into a place where now you are in conflict because they did not honor their word. They did not stand in the space of expectation that was given so that the two of you can move in a direction that you thought you were headed in. When you enter into that environment, that is where we often feel there's so many issues. Some things in a relationship and marriage is not conflict. And you can save that marriage. For those individuals, let me pause. If you are in an abusive relationship, I'm not saying that you need to stay. Get out of there quickly. Find a space where you are safe. But even that marriage could possibly be saved, because when people are abusive, it's often because they were abused. If they are able to get support and therapy to get through the trauma that they have experienced, often they will not continue to throw that or immerse other people in it. When that takes place, support is given, therapy given, those marriages can be saved. But if you find that you're in an environment where immediately you need to be safe, get there. Legal separations exist for those reasons. It's not divorce. It's just making the space clear, because marriage puts you inside of a legal framework. There's that paperwork brings with it some elements of financial security and transfer of some different documents and inconveniences and benefits. But there are individuals that are in relationships where it's just long term. You never bothered to get the paperwork to cover it because you felt like, oh, we don't need a piece of paper. I want you to know that spiritually, you're still in a marriage. And so either way, whether you're doing a covenant marriage with the legal paperwork or a spiritual marriage without the paperwork, when you separate, if it takes place where there is toxicity and your souls are going in different directions, it's still the same hurt. It's still the same pain. You still feel often the same drama. So what do? There are two things I want you to start paying attention to. First, when you find that the toxicity of people, places, or things, because being a relational being is not just about a person. Sometimes you are in a relationship with things like the job that you have. You know more about your next deal than you do about your children's homework. For some individuals, you are clear about what the next game is. Your Xbox and your PlayStation has a bigger relationship with you than the people that you say that you love. And then there are some individuals that are tied to places, that home that you just won't let go because of the memories that you feel you will cherish, or because it was just that place that it was the perfect home. You had finally gotten to a position where you got what you thought you needed, or your hometown, you just don't want to leave home. But it is not supporting your gifts, skills, and talents. You can't grow there. If Jesus could not do miracles in his hometown, the Messiah, you may need to also go someplace different so that you can grow, really give your gifts, really share your talents, really expand to give to the world what you were born to do. So I say all this to say that as relational beings, it's not just about being in a relationship with people. So look at every area of your life, because there were some things I had to let go. I remember a job that I truly wanted. Y'all, I wanted this job, and it was coming on the heels of my divorce, and it was going to give me what I needed. I was going to have the 4-bedroom house that I wanted. It was laid out. It was what I was seeking. It had everything that I was looking for, and I wanted to be there. That place was the place I wanted to be. The job was going to give me some of the things that I was looking for. It was the first time I would have been in a position that would have given me the 6 figures that I was looking for. But when I decided to truly take a look about how it was going to benefit me overall, I discovered that walking into that environment would have caused me more stress than I wanted to have. It would have put me in a position to compromise some elements about my core being that I no longer wanted to compromise on. There are some jobs that are causing you more heartache, more drama, more pain than it needs to, and you may need to let it go. And in doing so, here's the other part about it. Me deciding to leave that job meant that I was going to remain in a 2-bedroom apartment, unemployed, with my kids. See, after I got divorced, The chaos and the trauma, I could not continue to have conversation or the support that I was getting from my ex. And I was struggling and it was hard. And when you're in spaces and places like that, it is difficult to say no to something or let go of something that you think is going to help you. You may need to just decide it's okay. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because it is not. And that is where strength comes in. Your strength comes in the fact of knowing that it is not going to be easy, but it needs to be done anyway. It hurts to let go a long-term relationship when you thought you were headed to marriage and you never get there. It hurts to be in an environment that you thought was going to support you and grow you, but it never does. And so you gotta let go and you gotta move on. It hurts when you have to swallow your pride and let someone else feel that they have victory in a moment where they are wrong. You know they wrong. You know the statement that they said was wrong. There is no truth that resides in any of that, but they're lording it over you. They're trying to make everybody else believe that you are crazy, you are dumb, you have entered a space where you are not who you are truly at the core of your being, and you let it go. You decide that in this moment, it's going to cost me my pride, but I will keep my peace. You decide in this moment, I may look like I'm in a financial downpour, and it is not the best place that I truly want to be. Because when I was stuck in that 2-bedroom apartment, unemployed with my kids, I reached a place because I chose my peace. I chose to be in an environment that I thought, looking at all of the situation that was going to be, was much better to keep my children whole, even at the cost of me losing out on some things. It hurt when there was no food to feed them. That is where strength, that hidden strength, the strength that you didn't know you had, the strength that an environment, a space, or a place is trying to teach you and help you get to, it is when you get there that you realize, despite what's happening, I will hold on to the truth of what I know to be. Despite what's happening, I'm going to keep the peace that I need, because the bigger picture says my children will be safer here. The bigger picture says it hurts right now, but in the long run, it will be easier. Those are the things that I need you to be okay with. And the way that you get there is often ending a relationship quickly and doing it in grace and love. You knew in some of your relationships that you did not have to get to that final breakup, the part where the police is called or a restraining order is needed, long before that ever took place. You knew that relationship needed to end. End it. It will hurt for a moment, but in the long-term view of who you are, what you need, you will be supported. And when you do, you can end it with love. You do not have to end a relationship in chaos. Sometimes you need to write out what you have to get out of your soul, to get past the pain points so that you can get to the positive points to move on. So when we get to a place where we are hurt, you just want to let them have it. You just want to let people know what is going on in your mind, how you're feeling in that moment. You don't have to do that. I bought a grill. My neighbors thought that I was the barbecue queen. I did nothing on that grill but burn the letters that I had to get out my soul. Journaling is great, but there are some things you may need to write that not another living soul needs to read. So I wrote out my hurt. I wrote out my pain. I wrote out what I wish I had. Because sometimes we stay in a relationship because of what we wish we had. There are parts of that relationship that fits our perfect image. Wherever you got your vision of marriage, whether it was on a television, on a book, or whatever, you got that perfect image somewhere. And there's a lot of elements in this relationship that you're in that keeps that perfect image alive. But let me ask you, if I made your perfect drink, it was what you desired, all the ingredients that you enjoy, all the various things. And I told you, here is your perfect drink. It just only has one drop of poison in it. Would you take it? I can hear y'all saying no right now, but let me tell you something. You are saying yes every time you decide to stay in a relationship that is not supporting your core values, that is not supporting your authentic self, that is not supporting you being into the best environment so that the two of you can show the world what true love looks like, so that the two of you can show the world what true strength looks like, so that the two of you can be the example of what it truly means to love through. Because life is already going to throw stuff at you. But if you are tied into a relationship with a person that has similar core values, because you have taken the time to know who you are, because you have taken the time to know what you bring to the table, because you have taken the time to see what they bring as well. When a marriage is put together under that foundation, it is there that everybody else can get the fruit that they need. It is there that everybody else can get the strength that they need. It is there that you are being a benefit to yourself and legacy, a good legacy that generations can feed on, can thrive and survive. So for today, if you don't remember anything else I've said, here's the one thing I want you to know. There is strength in letting go, and it can be done quickly with grace and love. And if you need someone to walk with you through the journey, feel free to reach out to me on my website, tanyaehood.com. There, you can go to the Work With Me tab and see the various strategies and actionable steps that we can take together for your unique situation. And if you're on Clubhouse, join me every Tuesday in the Winning in Wealth Club, where we start off a conversation at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on mindset. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we move into a continued discussion about Red Alert Diaries. And then we wrap all that up with a conversation about the village woman. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose. And I want you to do the same.